What is wrong with the FIRE movement? So, FIRE stands for Financially Independent Retire Early. It's essentially a strategy where you save the majority of your income and invest it and put that money towards retirement so that you can retire early. This often involves minimal living and prioritizing your savings over everything else. Now, I really do like the concept of this movement, and I do think there's a lot of really good in this type of strategy. However, after hearing a lot of different FIRE stories, a lot of them seem to really have some common issues. I think a lot of the FIRE strategies fail to consider your life. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, number one, in order to retire early and be financially independent, you do have to use a lot of the money that you get from your paycheck to put into your retirement accounts and your investments. Now, I do think this is a really good idea. I think that sometimes people take it to extremes where they almost hurt their life, especially some of their younger years, by prioritizing saving over doing anything fun. Now, I do think as an adult, having fun is kind of a skill. Like, you need to learn how to do it and how to do that financially responsibly. And if you're just not spending money on anything, then you're kind of not taking that opportunity to learn how to spend money and how to have fun. Like, a major regret that a lot of older people have is not traveling when they were younger. So, to me, if traveling is something that you really want to do, then you should try to prioritize that when you're younger. And don't get me wrong, I do think that you can do both. I think it's really important to find a good balance here and not just focus on saving, and not focus on your personal life and doing things that would make you happy. So, I guess throughout a lot of my life, I've always felt kind of guilty spending money on something that I just kind of wanted. And I don't really think that that's right. If it's something that I really wanted and budgeted for, then I should feel happy to get it. So I kind of realized that I had a problem with this, and I've been really working to change that and get better at spending money because I don't want to be sitting on all this money and not really spending it, right? Like, I want to enjoy my life and share it with the people that I love. So it's been a huge focus for me. I think that's where budgeting really helped, because now that I know that I have this amount of money that I can spend on things that I enjoy, it has really helped me get more comfortable with spending money because I know that I'm putting the percentages that I require to my investments, and I'm hitting my goals and my targets while getting to enjoy my life. I think a lot of people do end up getting to retire and they just don't know how to spend money because they haven't really used that muscle much in their life. So, I do think it's an important thing for people to just know how to spend money, what makes them happy. If you spend money on something and it didn't bring you any joy, then maybe don't spend it on that again. Just kind of learning what makes you happy and what's worth it to you. And with the FIRE movement, this really isn't considered on a normal basis. Like, it's mostly about just put whatever you can besides your necessities into investments and don't do anything fun. Like, that's a that's a huge theory within the movement, and a lot of people have done that. But then I do think you end up losing a couple of years of your life because you're so focused on making that happen that you kind of forget how to live and what life is all about. And another factor is the job that you're taking to accomplish financial independence. If you absolutely hate your job and hate going to work every day, then something is wrong with your job. I know this from experience. I can tell you that your job might be the problem. It is a terrible way to live, to hate your job and what you do 8 hours every day. And personally, I think that fire is not worth it if you hate your life every day. Ideally, you'll find a job that you enjoy that pays you a pretty good amount that you can then use a portion of that money to go towards your finances and a portion for yourself and enjoying your life. It is so important that you enjoy your everyday life, and that includes what you do Monday through Friday. It's not good to only live for the weekend because the weekend is such a small portion of your life. When I first joined the fire movement, I was definitely one of those people that was like, I'm going to retire as fast as I can and then do what I want. But then as time went on, I kind of started thinking, like, well, what would I do? Like, it becomes a hard question about what you want to do with your life. I really don't think it's easy, and I think you do have to try out a couple different things to see what aspects you do like. Now, I'd say my main goal in the fire movement is to just become financially independent so that way I have a choice. So, if I end up not liking my job, I can just leave it and try something new. Just, it's nice to have a choice and the freedom to do what you want. To me, having financial freedom is huge and definitely something that I am working towards and want to continue working towards throughout my life. I actually do really like working, and I think a lot of people do as well. They're just not necessarily sure what type of work they want to do. Maybe it's not going to an office and sitting at your desk by yourself for 8 hours. Like, maybe that's not what makes you happy. Maybe it is. So, to me, I just really enjoy working and constructing something, being part of a project, and being on a team. And that's something that I think I'm going to continue wanting for a while. So to me, I do want to keep working. And the type of work that I want might change as I get older and I learn new things about myself and what I like better. But at the very base of it, I do enjoy working and want to continue working. Whereas I think the fire movement kind of glamorizes like sitting on a beach, drinking cocktails. That kind of gets old after a week. If you've ever been to an all inclusive resort, you'll probably understand that. But I do think it's missing some substance. Again, I love the freedom part of it. Just the life part, I do think is missing and not emphasized enough. So people end up becoming financially independent and retiring early, using the last couple years of their life hustling, not enjoying themselves at all. And they finally get to this point where they're retired and they just don't know what to do with themselves. And they've spent this last couple years really working towards something that's no longer there to work towards. So I'd say I'd really keep that in mind if you're part of this movement. Again, I don't think I'm not part of the movement. I do identify with it, but I just want to consider the life portion of a little bit more within this movement. Now, something I do like is there are a couple different subcategories, like there is barista fire, where you kind of work like a part time job while you're retired, or there's fat fire, where you end up like saving a lot more so you can have a more extravagant life. So there are a couple different options, which I do really appreciate the different paths. And I think that's kind of evolving as people find out what they want out of the fire movement. I do think it's a really good movement, and more people should try to work towards being financially independent just because of the freedom that it gives you with your life. All right, that's pretty much all I have for you today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.